Guys, welcome to another video, Trash to Cash. We've been away for a little minute. We haven't done a video for a couple of weeks because we've been so busy doing bits and pieces, but I've got a couple in the pipeline, including this one. So I thought we'd have a quick look, show you what we got, and show you how we got on with these bits and pieces. Only a few items on this one. It was a one sort of person deal that we found at the A3 car boot sale at Guildford. We was happy with this one for sure, but we'll go through it. We'll show you what we got, and hopefully you'll enjoy the video, and we'll make some money, and we'll move on to the next one because there's plenty more to come, I can assure you. Now the sun's out, it's boot sale season. So the first thing on the list for this one, this is all silver, by the way. Everything we bought here was a job lot of silver we bought off one buyer. We was lucky enough to have an introduction with this person from somebody else that we deal with and buy from. They introduced us and they got them to bring these bits and pieces along. So we got these before they came out of the car. So nobody else saw these before we did, and we obviously struck a deal and we bought it all. So let's have a look, see what we got. So the first thing that we bought was, well, we bought all this together, but the first thing we'll have a look at is this 1908 Walker and Hall silver box. It's just a pretty ordinary silver box. As you can see, weighed 274 grams. It was a nice thing, floral design, no markings on it, no engravings on it, so that was a nice item. The next thing we got along here, I can get to it. I will get to it. Next thing we got was this small inkwell. This was a nice item. Again, very heavy for silver. 242.5 grams. So that was a good heavy piece. Also had the glass insert in it still, which is can be a bit of a rarity. You don't always get them with all the bits and pieces in, so it was nice to get the inserts in that. The next one we got was this. I'm going to probably absolutely mince this word up, but Asahi Japanese compact case. This had a mirror inside, a little place for women's powders and bits and pieces like that. And this, rather than 925, which is the English sterling mark, this was 950. This was slightly better quality silver than what you get here as a standard grade. And 950, for those who don't know, means it was 95% silver content. And then obviously there's other base metals. The standard UK stuff that you'll get here is sterling, which is 925, which is obviously 92.5% silver content, and obviously they have various weights, but this one was a real heavy piece. It was quite a large one, but it's 387 grams of silver, so there was a lot of silver in this one. The next one we got was this Nathan Miller 1852 small pill pot or little box, whatever they wanted to use it for. Really nice piece. Not a bad maker, but pretty standard sort of generic stuff. Again, fairly heavy for a small box. It was about the size of a packet of cigarettes, so it wasn't a particularly big box, but it was a nice little ornate thing. But that weighed 107.8 grams, so nearly 108 grams of silver in that one. Again, 925. The next one we got along there is another Nathan and Miller, exactly the same sort of thing. I mean, obviously these are just sort of generic boxes that were made by a lot of silversmiths back in the day. These are again, this was 1829, so this is just under 200 years old for that small box there. So it's been around a long time, and they were in really good condition for what they were. Unfortunately, they were. Nathan Miller's as I said, a pretty generic make, so pretty generic silversmith. So it wasn't huge value in any of this, but we did all right. We got over the scrap price. We got a bit extra for the items. The next one is this really nice heavy glass or heavy crystal pot here. I'm not actually sure what they use this for. I know it's sort of a part of a travel set maybe, or something like that, or something that sits on a desk. Again, 1827, so sort of 200 years old. Come from St James's Street in London. Again, just sort of generic shops really. These are these were in the day just sort of high-end silver makers, silver shops, the sort of place that most people couldn't afford to go to buy this stuff. So yeah, it was a nice piece. It was obviously really heavy, partly because of the glass, but the silver content of it was just a lid, and obviously that weighed 133.5 grams. Again, 925, but it had a nice little shield and bits and pieces on the front, so it was quite a nice piece. Next one along is this pin cushion. This was a very large pin cushion. They're not normally this big. This one was quite big, but this was a Chester hallmarked piece. There is no assay office in Chester anymore, so this was quite a nice piece. 1909, all opened up. Obviously, put your sewing bits and pieces and stuff in, and obviously all your pins and everything else on the outside. And yeah, it's obviously just something that somebody had in their sewing box years ago. It was a nice thing. It was fairly big as well, about the same sort of size as a Coke can, so it was fairly large. 53.7 grams, so it had a good weight to it, and obviously that doesn't include the pin cushion. We took that out, so that was just the silver content on that. Again, 925. Next piece was this little, it's just a little pill pot. It was really nothing special about it at all. Just had sterling written on it, nothing else, really basic. Only weighed 15 grams. It was a nice little thing, usable but really modern. There was no age to it at all. It just came with a lot. Next one along was this one. This one again is pretty new. Obviously it says on there, as you can see, Millennium Mark. Had the 2000 Millennium Mark stamped on the top, so obviously the date of this was 2000. So it was, I'll say it's not that old. It's still nearly 25 years old at this point. So, but for the rest of the silver, obviously being 200 years old, this is relatively new. Again, just a little generic box, nothing special about it. Weighed nearly 30 grams, and again that was 925 silver, so that was all right. Next one was another little compact. Nice thing, nice design on the top. It was a well-made thing. It's not sure where this come from. It's not continental, although the picture would sort of suggest otherwise. I don't know if there's sort of an English posh house scene or whatever that is on the top. But it was a nice thing. It was well made. It was 925, so it was, and it had English hallmarks on it, so it was definitely an English piece. Not sure of the maker of that. Didn't have a maker's mark on it, but it was sterling silver, so it was 925 again. But it still weighed nearly 61 grams, so that was a nice piece anyway. And the last one here was this milk sugar tongs and spoons set. This was really nice. It was a really posh piece. Somebody that would have had this back in the day would have spent a lot of money buying that. It was a nice thing. Weighed quite a lot. It was 160 odd grams. It was 1888, so it's well over 100 years old. So everything over 100 years old is considered an antique. So most of these silver pieces were antiques. But as I said, we bought all of this stuff off of one person. We've done really well. We paid 850 quid for all of this. Now, if you had the weights up that you've gone through there, you'll sort of get an idea. I haven't done that, so I'm not going to tell you what it was. You'd have to do that yourselves. But scrap weight on sterling silver at the moment is about 62 or 63 pence per gram. So we returned 1,200 on all of this, and as I say, we paid 850. So we ended up with a £350 profit on top of what we paid. And we sold this to another guy that we know who's specialises in silver pieces and jewellery and stuff, and I'm sure he'll do really well with it on his stall with all his shiny bits of silver that he's got on there for sale. So that was a quick one, guys. We moved that on. That was a one person deal. We didn't really find much else that day. As I say, we got a little connect on this one, and we was lucky enough that we bought all of this, because if this had gone out on the table, she would have been absolutely surrounded by people trying to buy bits and pieces and nick stuff, and it would have been a headache for them. So we bought absolutely everything in one go rather than messing about. You know, 850 quid to spend at a boot sale on one stall is quite a large amount of money to most people in most cases, but we literally had this for less than probably 24 hours and moved it on again. So this was a nice deal. If you could do a couple of these a week, you'd be in very good shape. But yeah, we were happy with that. So that's it, guys, for this one. That was a quick video just to show you that you can find some really good bits at the car boot. Stick around, there's another video coming. We've got more to come up. We've bought some really good stuff, so hopefully you'll enjoy the content, guys. Please follow the channel, hit the like button and follow button and all the rest of it, and help us grow the channel, and I'll keep making content all the time. You guys enjoy it. Best of luck, enjoy your weekend, and yeah, get on the boot sales, see what you can find.